up, people? Pizowell here, and today I want to talk to you guys about 1994's Tammy and the T-Rex. Now, this is partially going to be a review of the movie as well as a review of this new Vinegar Syndrome 4K UHD release. And I hardly know where to begin when it comes to Tammy and the T-Rex, because describing this movie to somebody who's never seen it before is nearly an impossible task. Tammy and the T-Rex is an experience movie. Now, I've talked about experience movies on this channel in the past, but Tammy and the T-Rex is a prime example of an experience movie. Seeing is believing when it comes to this movie. However, so much of this movie, you're not going to actually believe what you're seeing. Tammy and the T-Rex can best be summed up as a surreal, insane, satirical love story about a young woman and a dinosaur. The movie stars Denise Richards as Tammy and the late Paul Walker as Michael, two burgeoning lovebirds. However, standing in the way of their love is Tammy's ex, Billy, who is desperate to get her back. The movie actually opens with Billy and Michael engaging in WWE-style combat. Literally, at one point, Billy is dropping elbows on Michael. The altercation culminates with the two of them having applied vice-like grips to one another's groins. Billy and Michael are both crying out in agony, yet neither one will unhand the other's junk. Eventually, the police show up, and one of the police officers, played by B-movie legend George Buck Flower, actually announces to the onlookers, "It looks like what we've got here is a testicular standoff." A testicular standoff. Enter Dr. Wackenstein. Dr. Wackenstein, although it's pronounced Wackenstein in the movie, played by Terry Kaiser, Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's and Bad News Cruise from Friday the 13th Part 7, who plays this very much Dr. Frankenstein-like mad scientist. And his creation, you ask? It's a large mechanical T-Rex. And all Dr. Wackenstein needs to bring his creation to life is a brain. Billy inadvertently provides Dr. Wackenstein a hand when he and his crew of goons transport Michael to an animal sanctuary. An animal sanctuary with no visible fencing around it and a very large, wide open gate right out front. This animal sanctuary is home to panthers, leopards, and lions. Eventually, Michael dies, and Dr. Wackenstein transplants his brain into the T-Rex, giving the T-Rex Michael's consciousness. Discovering the predicament that T-Rex Michael is now in, he's not too happy about it, and then proceeds to go on a murderous rampage seeking vengeance against Billy and his goon squad. From there, T-Rex Michael turns his attentions back to Tammy in an attempt to rekindle their romance, and eventually the two of them become lovers on the lam, with Dr. Wackenstein and the police in hot pursuit. Now, I have no idea what writer-director Stuart Raffle was drinking, smoking, shooting, snorting when he came up with the idea for Tammy and the T-Rex. But whatever it was, it must have been really good. At one point in the movie, Tammy goes to a morgue in search of fresh corpses, basically corpse shopping for a body to put Michael's brain inside of. Tammy and her incredibly flamboyant friend, a depiction of a homosexual man that would in no way, shape, form, or fashion fly today, They end up dragging these bodies over to a window where T-Rex Michael gives them either thumbs up or thumbs down as to which of the bodies he wants his brain put into. At another point in the film, Denise Richards performs a striptease to a brain in a bowl. I'm not making this up. Now, if you saw Tammy and the T-Rex in the past, as I have, you saw the PG-13 cut of the film. This release from Vinegar Syndrome reinstates all of the blood and gore that was excised from the PG-13 cut. And there is an incredible amount of blood and gore in this movie. Like a surprising amount of blood and gore. T-Rex Michael is biting people's heads off. He's eviscerating people with his claws. He's stomping people flat as a pancake, and I mean literally flat as a pancake. And now I have to give props to Denise Richards for her performance in Tammy and the T-Rex. She plays it for the most part incredibly straight, and I can't imagine the dedication to the role that required, considering the movie in and of itself. But she actually makes me believe that her character truly loves this big, fake-looking, rubbery T-Rex. Now that's what I call acting. Paul Walker doesn't really have a lot to do in this film beyond the first act. Tammy and the T-Rex features a lot of recognizable faces in the supporting cast. You've got John Franklin, Isaac from Children of the Corn, Sean Whalen, the aforementioned George Buck Flower, John Goff, and even the guy who played Pedro in Napoleon Dynamite pops up in this film as a pizza delivery boy. But it's Terry Kaiser who absolutely steals this movie. His performance as Dr. Wackenstein is so gleefully zany. He knew exactly what kind of movie he was making here, and he steals every scene that he's in. I also have to give props to writer-director Stuart Raffle. He's definitely in on the joke of this movie. He knows that he's got a big fake-looking rubbery dinosaur to work with here, so he's unabashedly outlandish when it comes to the story and gives us plenty of very amusing sight gags involving the dinosaur. And there's one of them behind me in which T-Rex Michael uses a payphone. Oh, I almost neglected to mention the theme song for Tammy and the T-Rex. Please allow me to read to you some of the lyrics from the theme song for Tammy and the T-Rex. I'm a dinosaur man, a prehistoric dude, king of the jungle. I'm coming after you. Feel the rumble, feel the roar, dance to the music of the dinosaur. Tammy and the T-Rex is just such a wonderfully bizarre, sublimely surreal, and completely insane movie. I highly recommend it. If you've not seen Tammy and the T-Rex, by all means, watch Tammy and the T-Rex. This release from Vinegar Syndrome would be a great way to introduce yourself to the film if you've never seen it. If you are a fan of Tammy and the T-Rex, you definitely want to look into picking up this 4K UHD release from Vinegar Syndrome and add it to your collection. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine that Tammy and the T-Rex would receive a 4K UHD release. I was tickled pink when Vinegar Syndrome announced that they were releasing Tammy and the T-Rex on 4K. And my hat is off to them for giving a movie like this, which has lived in complete obscurity, this kind of release. They have truly rolled out the red carpet for Tammy and the T-Rex here. As far as the picture quality and sound quality are concerned, this release is newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35mm original camera negative. The picture quality on this release is absolutely phenomenal. Vinegar Syndrome has done such a great job with the 4K restoration of this film on this release. I would give it a solid 4.5 or a 5 out of 5. Same thing with the audio quality. I'd give it a 4.5 or a 5 out of 5. The picture quality and the sound quality on this release are both absolutely fantastic. As far as extras are concerned, first up we get blood, brains, and a teenage T-Rex, an interview with writer-director Stuart Raffle. It's 22 minutes and 12 seconds in length. Mr. Raffle discusses how movies were an escape from the bleakness of the city he grew up in the UK. He discusses immigrating to the US and working as an animal trainer in the film business. He discusses working in just about every department in the film business, from boom operator to cameraman. He discusses the genesis of Tammy and the T-Rex, aka Tammy and the Teenage T-Rex, which was the original title, developing the story and developing the humor in the film. He discusses casting Paul Walker and Denise Richards. He discusses the bloodshed and gore in the film, the editing process, the reason for the title change, and more. Very nice interview with Mr. Raffle. Next up, we have A Blast from the Past, an interview with actress Denise Richards. It's 11 minutes and 31 seconds in length. Ms. Richards discusses working with Paul Walker and how great he was. She discusses having to ride the dinosaur while a wildfire raged nearby, and the director would not let the cast and crew go home because he felt like the smoke made a very beautiful sunset. She discusses working with the director and how comfortable he made her, his energy, and how he made it such a fun movie to work on. She discusses how thrilled she is that Tammy and the T-Rex is coming back around, and more. Very nice interview with Ms. Richards. Next up, we have Having the Guts, an interview with actor Whalen. It's 12 minutes and 12 seconds in length. Mr. Whalen discusses his success in commercials and his unique look, helping him get cast in Tammy and the T-Rex. He discusses the movie being goofy, silly, campy, and fun. He discusses his character's death scene and how cheesy it was to shoot. He discusses how sweet Denise Richards was and how great everyone was to work with, including the late Paul Walker. He discusses meeting fans of the film at conventions and more. Next up, we have A Testicular Standoff, an interview with actor George Pilgrim. It's 25 minutes and 7 seconds in length. Mr. Pilgrim discusses first reading the screenplay and having some reservations about doing the film when he read his character's demise. He discusses the testicular standoff scene with Paul Walker and how that was choreographed. That was also day one of shooting for him. So it was show up to the set. Hello, I'm George Pilgrim. Hi, I'm Paul Walker. Oh, by the way, we're going to be gripping each other's gonads very soon. He discusses his character's death and how it was done and how he feared for his life while shooting that scene, and much more. A very, very entertaining interview with Mr. Pilgrim. We get the full-length PG-13 Tammy and the T-Rex cut, which is sourced from the old Imperial VHS release, and we get an audio commentary with director Stuart Raffle and producer Diane Kerman, moderated by Brett Berg of the American Genre Film Archive. I listened to about 45 minutes of the commentary with Mr. Raffle, Ms. Kerman, and Mr. Berg. Very informative, very entertaining commentary for Tammy and the T-Rex. They discuss the inception of the film, casting the film, working with the T-Rex, the limited budget, the limited schedule. Just really, really informative, entertaining commentary, at least for about the 45 minutes that I listened to on this release. This is a fantastic release for Tammy and the T-Rex from the fine folks over at Vinegar Syndrome. Again, I highly recommend the film. If you've not seen Tammy and the T-Rex, this release would be a great way to introduce yourself to the film. If you are a fan of Tammy and the T-Rex, you absolutely need to look into picking up this release and add it to your collection. If you've seen Tammy and the T-Rex, please let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. If you've already picked up this 4K UHD release, please let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. They're also right around here. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. Join the A Buck a Month Club and help support my channel on Patreon. Thank you to my current patrons, Kevin Smythe, B-Movie Mike, Robbie Sobel, Turi Delamore, Stephen Flanagan, Lori Holt, Craig Farron, Farron Sutton, Jeremiah Lambert, Grindhouse Grotto, Derek Jana, Demon Waffles, Simon Clark, Stone Gassman, Zachary Barton, Lauren Dixon, James Welch, Eli Geisler, Jeff Overing, Pete Toll, Kyle McGuire, Jay the Stingray, Andrew McDonald, Dave Barnes, Jonathan Lundy, Chris Gonzalez, The R-Rated Show, Fear Fuel, Jason Breitenbach, Brandon Bisdick, Steak Steak Sauce, Mark Striano, Jeff Gardner, The Obsoletionist, Chris Earls, Kevin Fitzpatrick, Randall Beatty, Joseph Hinkle, Hey Isn't That Devon Graham, Christian Hannah Horror, HorrorBreakdown.com, Jeanette Spivak, Orc145626, W.E. Bora, Jeffrey Hill, Dave Vanderhoff, Nene and Jesse, Captain Halloween, Brad Frazier, and Mark Lopez. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.